Good day. How is everybody doing out there? As we find each other in our living rooms, our bedrooms, our backyards. I'm so happy for us to be together. I can feel your soul. I feel your souls. This is kind of what I do. I check into souls. And what I feel and what I'm reading in my meditations, my prayers with the divine presence, is that our soul is finding one another. Our soul is finding each other in our families, in our broadcasts. The veils that we have put up, because it's fun. It's fun to create those veils. Those veils have just been ripped off. They've just fallen. The curtain has fallen down, and we are standing naked, really, on the stage. And we're saying, well, who are we? I know I played this role, but perhaps I'm something else. Perhaps I'm more than the role I've been assigned to. I am a mystic. Someone who has spent half a century studying the divine realms and how they interplay with our world. I have traveled around the world to study, to be with great masters, to sit at their feet and to learn and to know why. Why do we even need this thing called the divine? Why is it so important? After all, we have everything. We have science, which we desperately need more of right now. And we have technology, and we have the ability to fly around the world. So why is this happening now? This is the question that consciousness is pondering. Because we are one consciousness. It's hard to believe that, and we don't want to cop to that because it means looking at all the yucky stuff and saying, oh dear, I'm part of that too? But we are. We're the best of everything, and we are the worst of everything. We are the brokenness of the divine, here, grappling, trying, tossing, juggling, longing for union with ourselves. We are longing to reunite with ourselves. And this is the great message from Yogananda to Jesus to Muhammad. This is the great message of Saint Teresa. This is the message of Martin Luther King. This is the message of the divine leaders of our world. Thich Nhat Hanh. It's all the same message. We are to reunite with ourselves. Because within us, there is the God spark. It's our spirit. It is our humanity. It's how we care for one another, how we reach out to one another. And this virus, this coronavirus, which is in the family of a cold, is forcing us to do just that. So seize the brass ring, carpe diem, seize this moment. Let us not waste it. And let us learn how to become who we really are. But how do we do this? That is the question. How do I find the best of myself when I just want to strangle my kid because they won't do what I'm telling them? How do I find the best of who I am when my husband is really now starting to annoy me the way he's slurping through that straw? And why am I being so annoyed? In the mystical tradition of the Kabbalah, it would say that we are fighting the soul's journey to intimacy. that we, the soul, is wanting intimacy. But the ego mind is a different agenda, and that agenda is to stay separate, to not be intimate, to find fault in others. And then something more, something that we're just beginning to kind of tiptoe into, but I want to dive into this right now, and that is the inner angst, the inner ennui, the inner anxiety, the pressure, the heat of being cooped up, and how we just want to explode and jump out of our skin. This is a very normal response for the ego. So we have an opportunity to really face this ego. And once we do, there is so much beauty and so much love and so much healing on the other side of it. Walt Whitman, the great American poet, said, "I hear bravuras of birds, bustle of growing wheat, gossip of flames, clack of sticks cooking my meals. I hear the sound I love, the sound of the human voice." Listen. Listen to the sound of the human voice. This is what we're being asked. As one soul and one world in our global world, we have created a vision of oneness. And even though this vision of oneness is having a very hard time right now, we have an opportunity to seize the brass ring of awakening, of looking deep. Grief is a light of depth. Suffering is a light of depth. Buddha's first law, we suffer. In our grief and in our suffering, there is a holy presence. It's you. It's who you are. It's who I am. It's who someone is in China, someone is in Washington, someone is in Russia. There is a language that breaks the barrier of the ego's separation. And that language is called care, caring, loving kindness. But how do we find that when we feel like we're about to jump out of our skin? So today I want to give you a point, a spiritual lesson that really works. I have been doing this now for over 20 years, and I've taught this to thousands and thousands of people worldwide. And that is how to shift the inner angst, the inner fear, the place where you want to jump out of your skin, how to bring that back into some sense of calm, serenity, so you can fully enjoy life in the midst of the fear. And there is so much fear. I don't want to underestimate this fear. This fear is very real. It's very real when you can't pay the rent. I know, I have been there. And it's very real when you think you might lose your entire livelihood. So we must address how real this is. But spirituality is real. True spirituality is not about transcending and lifting off. It's about walking in the dirt. It's about digging in the dirt. It's about getting your hands really dirty and then finding the diamond in that dirt. That is the spiritual practice, the real one. And we now are in the dirt. Metaphorically, we are digging. We are being asked to, for those who can, to pay people that can't come to work. We're being asked to stretch our comfort zone and our boundaries beyond what we thought was possible. I want to help make that easier for you. This tragedy, what you have done, what we have done, is forcing the false self, the ego that holds us together, the label of who we are, to be burned away in a sacred fire, in a waterfall of spiritual light. And this is why these feelings are coming up. You there may identify your feelings with fear and anxiety about the virus, but truthfully, what is happening is that your ego is afraid it's losing. And this is the message of the age of surprise and the COVID-19 virus at this time. So I want to help you as your ego gets slayed, because we're in this for a while. This isn't going to be tomorrow we jump back out our doors. We are here for the duration. So let's look now at this place of anxiety and fear within. I use a lot of visualization. Now, why is that, right? Why is visualization so important? Because the brain, and science has proven this, the brain does not know the difference between something you imagine in your head and something you see. It's all a picture. And the brain goes into an automatic response of your parasympathetic nervous system, your thoughts, your feelings, based on what it sees, what it understands. We are stories. Our brain operates in pictures. It doesn't operate in words or sound bites, actually. It operates in pictures. So visualization is a profound tool to shift your inner state at any moment that you need to. And this is why I use these. And these tools are thousands and thousands of years old. They are based on the archetypes of our spiritual self. You may recognize some of these tools from stories you know from the great spiritual texts. So the first thing I'm going to give you is that when you feel this fire, this angst of, I feel like my skin is crawling, I've got to get out of here, my kids are driving me nuts, I can't take this new life of no escape. Because you see, these feelings are always and have always been with us. It's just we get to escape. We get to go to work, we get to take a drive, we get to go to a movie, we get to go shopping, we get to change offices, we get to go home from the office, or we get to leave home and go to the office. But we've never had to just sit together for a long period of time. And trust me, we're just getting started at this. So it's invaluable to know how to live together. So when you feel that coming up, the first thing, step one, is watch yourself. Watch it. Employ what I call the silent watcher. So the silent watcher is the observer. It is the all-seeing eye. It's the place where you are watching your life. So you want to engage this silent watcher during this time of, I'm going to say, incubation instead of quarantine. We're in incubation for us to break out of our egg, our limited self and belief in ourself as an ego. So the watcher is this eye that is watching. And for those of you who aren't familiar with this, I'm going to give you a small exercise right now. It may seem silly, but it works. The same way when you are giving birth to a baby, they give you these visualizations and you think that's silly, but boy, oh boy, it sure does get you through that birth. So right now, I want you to imagine that sitting there on top of your head, just right here we go, is a mini me, a little person, a little you. And close your eyes and just imagine this little person sitting here. It's you. Maybe you're standing there, crossing your arms, your hands are on your hips. Maybe you're crossing your legs, but that's you. And I want you just to take your thought, your mind, into this area right here at the top of your forehead, in the frontal lobe. And I want you to look down on yourself. Look down on you. Oh, there's my nose. There's my shoulders. There are my feet. And now I want you to look down and just imagine you're looking at your thoughts. Look at those thoughts. Oh, what are you thinking? That's kind of crazy. This is a bit silly. Well, what else do I have to lose? I might as well try it. Or this is way cool. This is your silent watcher, the observer eye. Now from this observer eye, I want you to look down into your body, and it's important to identify in the body. Body is consciousness. And find the place where the anxiety comes from, or the heat, the intensity, where you just got to explode. So what we want to do now is to help you not explode, because it's so unlovely living close quarters with people and everyone exploding. Find that place. Locate. And now say, copy that. You've located where it stems from. For me, it's in my solar plexus, in my belly. And now that you see where this place is from your watcher, begin to slowly breathe into this area, meaning visualize the breath touching this place. And very gently and easily, you just watch your breath. And you're going to count to 10. And this is in real time when you're at home and you feel like you're just about to lose it. You just count to 10, watching your breath touch the root, the focal point of this anxiety or this internal intensity. And as you watch this breath, imagine, again, our imagination, imagine that there is a brilliant white orb of light over your head. And now imagine that this light is just opening up and cascading over you, washing you with this very cool, soft, peaceful water. I already feel calmer just saying that. And now imagine this light pouring through the crown of your head and down into your brain and your throat and your heart and your stomach and your legs and your feet. And you're just slowly breathing as this light washes over you. And when you begin to feel a bit of calm, just a bit of serenity coming into your system. I'm going to give you now an affirmation, and I want you to say, all anxiety, all fear, all intensity, I release you, I surrender you into peace. All fear, all anxiety, all intensity of emotion, I release you, I surrender you into peace. For you see, peace is a waterfall of light. It is a waterfall. If you've ever been to one or listened to water, they have many apps of water and nature sounds to help us sleep. They're also very good to use during this time. And now we let go. Where are you after this 3-step, very practical, mystical, spiritual remedy to anxiety and fear? Where are you? How do you feel right now? Check into your body. It's that simple. Are you breathing deeper? Are you taking a deeper breath? Now check into your silent watcher. And what do you see? What do you see inside? What are you made of? When I look into you, because I am a mystic and I have a kind of divine clairvoyance, what I see is light. Beautiful, shimmering, radiant light. I see goodness. I see possibility. I see wonderment. And I see enormous strength and resilience. There you go. This is the first and the most important step you can do to not only survive, but thrive in the age of surprise we find ourselves in, and now with the COVID-19 virus. Thank you for joining me today. Please let me know how this works. If you have any questions, if you want to know more, I am just delighted to be here together. Thank you. Have a great day.